All right, I think we're gonna get started. Let's see. Cool. Just quickly, because some questions are coming in through the Q&A. On the app, you guys should see a section that says Q&A. If you guys have any questions throughout the duration of this webinar, you guys could just ask the question on there, and we can go and we can answer them as they come along. Cool. All right, let's see here. So to get started off, let me just make sure everyone from the team is on. 1 second. We just got a question. Will this be recorded and posted online later? Yes, it will. So we will be recording this. Not sure we'll be posting these publicly, but for everyone who registered, we will be sending these out. So if you do have to hop off for any reason, we will be sending this to those who register. At least that's the plan. I mean, with technology, we can't promise that we'll have access to all the footage, but if we do have it, we will be sending it out. Cool. So for those who don't know me, my name is Mag Rodriguez. I'm the director of the Backline Milwaukee program. With me, I have two of my colleagues, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Some of my background is I was a producer, engineer, and manager for 6-7 years in Milwaukee. I've worked with various artists and producers, but I'll pass it along.
Sway, you're muted.
Thank you, Brian. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are well and doing what you need to do for yourself to get through this. We're all in it together. Again, my name is Sway. I'm part of the Backline team. I am the director of Motown Musician Accelerator here in Detroit. A little bit about me. I am a singer-songwriter producer from Detroit, born and raised. And I was signed to Motown back in 2005. Since then, I've just been cultivating artists, grooming them, working with them, and I came on board with Generator and the Backline team in 2019. I'll pass it on.
And I'm Brian. I'm the program manager for our music programs here at Generator.
So I think you probably received an email if you're on this webinar from, if not many of us, at least one of us. So you can feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions. I'm the director in Milwaukee. So any Milwaukee artists that have any questions, feel free to reach out, and Soy with being the director in Detroit. But ultimately we're a team. So you guys, I think we have some people watching that aren't from Milwaukee or Detroit. So if you're from any other city, feel free to reach out to us and we can try to help you guys out in the best way that we can. So with that, I think there's a lot of questions on what Backline is. So, I think the best way I can describe what Backline is we work within communities to strengthen and support the local music industry and its respective artists and connect them with local and national experts to further their careers as musicians. So there's different aspects to Backline as a whole. We do have a musician accelerator program that we run in Milwaukee, Detroit, and now in Cleveland. And that includes anywhere between 4 to 6 artists that we select every year. They get a grant and they go through a 12-week program. Outside of that, we also host quarterly workshops in each of those communities that are free and open to all artists of all ages. So, and then on top of that, we also host one-on-one meetings with artists that have any questions. Backline as a whole is a free program for artists. We never charge artists for any of our services. It's all privately and publicly funded, from anything from organizations to government and everything in between. But we don't take any royalties or percentages from any of the artists that we work with. And that's Backline as a whole. You guys can learn more about Backline on our website, which is backlinemusic.com. But what we're here for today is the Backline Emergency Response Program. So, with the COVID-19 crisis, pandemic that's going on around the world, we wanted to create a virtual resource for musicians beyond just our communities in Milwaukee and Detroit. We wanted to offer something more publicly to help artists that need help. So in this webinar, so the webinars itself are going to be 2 weeks. So it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting today, and they're going to run from 11 a.m. to about 1 p.m. And we're going to have daily webinars, ultimately designed to identify, understand, and help artists secure resources to withstand the current crisis. On top of that, we will be offering one-on-one office hours. We encourage, if you have any questions or if there's something that you heard in one of the webinars and you want us to go a little bit more in depth on, if we don't have the answers, we can connect you to the people who do. So please feel free to reach out and sign up for those one-on-one office hours. The link is going to be on the email that you received. So just make sure you're looking at your email. The overall topics that we're going to be talking about, I will go in depth into each day. But the main goal is step-by-step process of determining eligibility and applying for financial support from various organizations, navigating the opportunities in the virtual music industry, mental health and wellness resources, music administration, and ultimately upkeeping your digital presence. So those are the main topics. There's going to be some webinars that don't really connect directly with some of these, but this is the ultimate goal. So today is the first day of the emergency response program. For short, we're just calling it ERP. So today I'm starting off the intro. I will go a little bit into digital presence. And then at noon today, we have health insurance resources. Unfortunately, we were only able to secure at the moment Wisconsin resources. So everyone's welcome to join, but these resources in particular are going to be for Wisconsin only. And we have Nick Duke, who is a navigator at Covering Wisconsin. So this is going to be around health insurance and state insurance and how to navigate those resources right now. So please stick around for that one. That one will start right after this webinar. And then we will also have those same resources for Detroit. So for any Detroit artists or Michigan artists, please check your email. We will be sending that out. This Wednesday, we will be having at 11 a.m. unemployment resources and small business loans for artists. This is really, really important. There's been a lot of laws that have kind of gone into place. A lot of them are very confusing, but musicians, artists, freelancers are all a part of this stimulus package. So we're going to be having attorney Stephanie Hammonds talking about unemployment resources and small business loans for artists. So you would be surprised that you might be eligible, and there is some grant programs attached to this as well. Through the SBA disaster loan. So if you aren't really interested in a loan, there is some grant opportunities through that as well. At noon, we'll have a presentation on TikTok. There's a lot of talk about TikTok. It's become one of the leading social media, especially for Generation Z. We'll be having founder of 13th, which is a TikTok agency. His name is Ogo. Doing a brief presentation on TikTok and how to take advantage of TikTok. At 12:30, we'll be having a listening session. So we'll be having a couple of these with various people. We still have some pending confirmations, but this Wednesday we'll have one with multi-platinum producer Bose. He's a Detroit producer originally, now lives in LA. He's produced everything from Womanizer, from Britney Spears to worked on Beyonce's Lemonade album. Currently working a ton in South Korea with artists like artist groups like BTS. So essentially, how these are going to work is you just get on the webinar. We'll have an email that you can send music to. He'll select some music. while he's on the webinar, and he'll play the song and then give feedback. So this is a good way to get some feedback from established producers and A&Rs. So that's this Wednesday. Friday, we'll be having a presentation on Instagram with the head of music at Instagram. This is really important. Instagram is one of the leading platforms, and we're going to have the head of music from Instagram. His name is Perry Bashkoff, who will be doing a presentation on what Instagram is doing during this crisis and offering some best practices for you guys. And then at noon, we'll be doing a listening session with an A&R from APG Atlantic, which is APG is Atlantic Records Publishing Company, but he's also an A&R at Atlantic Records. His name is Anthony Morales, Milwaukee native originally, and now out in LA. Similar to the one with Bose, send in your music and he'll be giving out feedback. And then at 1 p.m., we'll have the Vice President of Digital Strategy at Universal Music Group. His name is Nick Osborne, and he'll be doing a presentation on digital marketing. So that's this week. Any questions on week 1? I'll let them come in if people have any questions. Cool. It doesn't look like we have any questions. Oh, cool. How do I submit music for listening sessions? So we'll have an email link once. Ideally, we would like who's hosting the webinar have their link or email. The goal is also to connect you with these people directly. So I think as of right now, we'll have an email, preferably their email, and then you'll just send them the music, and during the live, they'll just pick. So this isn't something you have to do prior. We want to engage with the people who are showing up to the webinars. So this will happen within the webinar. Can you provide us with an email to send music to now? We want to do it live. I think that works best. First come, first serve. So this will happen when that starts. Oh, the new emails only list. Thank you, Simon. We'll correct that. So someone gave us some feedback on an email we sent. Cool. And cool. I think those are all the questions that we got as of now. What type of submissions? Could it be links, YouTube? I think preferably we are gonna ask, I don't think there is like a set ask, but I would prepare like a Dropbox link maybe, or a SoundCloud link. Preferably no Spotify or Apple, just we don't know what platforms they use. So just assume that it's something that's free that won't have an ad maybe before it. So maybe Dropbox is probably the best. So just have a Dropbox link. What is the purpose of the listening sessions? I think it serves various purposes. I think one, if you want to get feedback from someone in the industry, if you want to contact with someone within the industry, so an A&R, if you want to get an A&R to listen to your music, or if you want to collaborate with a producer that's more established, it could open up opportunities. In the past, we've connected producers to artists and that landed placements. Or it could, like I said, opportunities are kind of endless, but I think the main goal is feedback, and then also just to embrace the community a little bit more. Let's see here. It isn't going to be genre specific, so everyone we're getting for the listening sessions are all pretty wide range of genres. Would Google Drive work? Yes, Google Drive would work, as long as it's public. Cool. All right, moving on. Sorry, we got one more question. Hello, I missed this. When were you going to talk about Michigan-specific unemployment and financial resources? So our unemployment conversation will happen this Wednesday at 11 a.m. And then expect an email for health resources on Michigan. Cool. All right, last question I have on here. What if you do not have any music to send? Remember, so all these webinars are also optional. We encourage everyone to show up, but you don't have to show up to all of them if you don't. Like if there's one that you don't think you need, I mean, I always tell everyone that you should be showing up to all of them, but just something to think about. You should probably want to be involved. Maybe you can listen to somebody you want to collaborate with. You might hear a producer if you're just a songwriter and don't have anything recorded. Oh, good call. So the times that I have listed on here are going to be Central Time, by the way. I should have included this on this slide. So all the times on here will be Central Time. So if you are in Detroit, that will be an hour ahead. And when we're sending the Google Calendars invites, it will be on Central Time. So hopefully on your calendar it updates. Cool. I think we're good. We won't be doing any live music for the listening feedback sessions, only pre-recorded music. Great question. Thank you for asking that, Nick. All right. So week 2, we'll be doing presentations on personal finance, mental health resources, music administration, local and national resources, and then music industry response to COVID-19 with Mark Byers, who's the general manager at Motown Records. So these are the topics that we'll be having for next week, including some other listening sessions. We're waiting on some confirmation from some A&Rs. But we have sent out the full calendar, but if anything changes, we will be sending that out. Cool. All right, so one-on-one office hours. I'm gonna keep talking about these office hours. I think they're very important. I think when it comes to webinars, there's 74 participants right now. But it's really hard for me to engage with all of you and for our team to engage with all of you. So on this, with so many people on at the same time. So if there is any specific questions or you need help with something, feel free to reach out and we can do one-on-one. Check your email for sign up. So like I said, and if you have any questions in regard to any of these topics that you need a little bit more in depth than just like a Q&A, please reach out, sign up for office hours. We have, I think it's over 30 hours of office hours. So please sign up. Cool. I'm gonna jump into the digital presence. So a lot of what this presentation I'm about to do is really just encouraging you guys to join in on the future webinars. But I will touch on some of those, some topics and why the digital space right now is very, very important, especially for artists who are putting out music on Spotify, Apple, and the streaming platforms. So number 1 is update your artist pages on the DSPs. So the DSPs are your digital streaming platforms. So accessing and claiming your artist accounts on the DSPs gives you access to the following. So you can update your pictures, you can promote tour dates, you can sell merchandise, you can submit to playlists, you can view analytics, you can add a bio, and some of these even give you access to more. So I think a lot of artists don't even know about these resources, and all of these are free. So accessing your DSP is completely free, and it can give you more access to more fans and ultimately make some more money on the streaming side. So the pages, right now, the ones that currently offer it are Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, Google Play / YouTube Music, which now operate under the same umbrella. So these are the ones that you should be logging into right after this webinar and making your account. So the accounts are free. Some of these will take 1 or 2 to 3 business days before you get access to them, but it's strongly, strongly encouraged. Let's see here. I'm gonna leave this up for a second if you guys want to take a screenshot or write these down. And in the meantime, if some more questions come through, I'll answer them. I got a question on here. Is to sign up for the one-on-one meetings in the original email, or would it be a different email? The sign up is on the email. So the email that we sent with the link to this webinar. So check your email. We sent in the full itinerary and links, and at the bottom of that email, the sign up sheet is on.
And another note about office hours, everyone, we did have about 350 RSVPs for these webinars. Those are the same people who are getting the office hours links, and we only have, as of right now, about 150 spots. So if you could sign up for one office hour right now, that'd be great, just to give everyone a fair shot at that. And then obviously if they're not full towards the end of the week, we can sign up for some more.
Okay. A couple more questions coming in on the listening sessions. So the links, you will send the links once you're in the webinar for the listening sessions. There will be an email to send the music to. So just make sure you add to your calendar and you show up to the listening sessions, and then we will offer you the email to send the music then. We won't be offering an email to send prior to it. The goal, someone asked if we can make our slides available after the session. The goal is to record these and then send the streaming link to everyone that wasn't able to watch the webinar live, and for the people who watched it live. So that's the goal, but you know, with technology, if something happens where we can't do that, we can't necessarily promise it, but that's ultimately the goal. Cool. On to the next slide. So I think another thing right now, and I've been encouraging a lot of artists to take advantage of this right now, is release unused and old content. And this doesn't have to be public. I think, I don't know if a lot of you guys know about Patreon. It allows you to create a subscription for like your core fans. So if you have music that you're sitting on, maybe your creative process, Patreon allows you to create a subscription, which is basically like a private account where only your fans who pay X amount of fee per month get direct access to it. And you, like the example that I use, if you can get 100 people to give you 500 a month, and these are your core fans, these are the same people that you can sell merch to. These are the people who will buy your vinyl. And these are the people who are going to show up to your shows. And I mean, $500 a month can cover your rent, right? For some people. So I think thinking about other ways right now that you can create some income with like your core fans. A little bit more about Patreon. It helps you, their slogan is, it helps you build direct relationships with your most engaged fans. You offer them benefits like exclusive content, community, or insight on your creative process in exchange for monthly subscription. If you guys need more information on Patreon, I recommend go to their website, which is patreon.com. This is not an ad. This is something that I think is really valuable for musicians. I think especially for the DIY musicians who don't necessarily have a team, creating a different source of income with those core fans, even 50 people or 25 can go a long way. And there can be like different tiers of it. So it's definitely something to look into. I also recommend creating more content, right? Content consumption is at like an all-time high right now. People are stuck to their phones. They're stuck home. In particular, TikTok is taking over the music industry. We have a presentation on TikTok this week. I recommend you guys tune in for it. I know to some people it sounds like something foreign. something that doesn't make sense. But the example that I use right now is like, if you think about 2005, 2006, up until like 2010, there was, national musicians who had to find a way to adapt, and the ones that stuck around through now this social media era are the ones that adapted. So it's very important to adapt to the current, landscape. TikTok has a huge conversion rate from people from songs that go viral on TikTok, and then they become very popular on Spotify and Apple Music. And granted, the TikTok scene isn't for everyone right now, but that doesn't mean that it won't include all genres and all demographics. My best recommendation is download TikTok as a consumer. And I think there is a lot of like viral videos and a lot of dancing videos, but there's a lot of sides to TikTok. There's cooking, there's workout, there's a bunch of different, probably anything that you're interested in, there is a TikTok community for it. So I definitely recommend that you guys download it. Stay ahead of the curve. It's still super early, but it's taking over. So definitely something to think about. Instagram in particular isn't going anywhere. Use your Instagram story and your IGTV. We also have a presentation on Instagram this week. So tune into those two webinars to learn a little bit more. But definitely those are the two main consumption places for content right now. But I think lastly, when it comes to creating more content, it's also okay to be still. Don't feel pressure to create if it doesn't feel natural. These are very odd times. This is, some people are losing their jobs. Some people might be losing family members. So like, it's also okay to put your music and creation on hold. Some of the best art is made after the storm passes. So like, it's okay to just take this time and to like, just relax and like, try to relax and find different ways to find inspiration, but don't feel too pressured to create right now. Use this time however you choose. So I definitely wanted people to at least be aware of that. Cool. All right, is there any questions on any of the slides I just put up? There's a question, will the Motown Accelerator resume when this passes? Yes, all of our programming will continue once this passes. So how serious should we be taking YouTube? YouTube is not going anywhere. It's also a huge platform. But as far as like short-term, smaller content, Instagram, like day-to-day content, YouTube for the most part is like something that takes production and time, but TikTok and Instagram are very short form. You can do them on your phone. You don't need super high value production. But definitely YouTube is definitely something you should be taking serious. If you have more questions on that, feel free to set up a one-on-one and we can talk about those. How successful is the TikTok conversion rate? I don't have an exact number, but that's a really good question for the webinar this week. Question, how do you feel about Thriller? I think it's very similar to TikTok. I think I don't know enough to like really answer that question. I know it's something that artists you can use and you can upload. Thriller became really popular because you didn't have to distribute your music. You can just upload a song that's on your phone. But there's been some improvements to the TikTok platform where you can do that now on TikTok as well. But Thriller and TikTok live in the same space as far as content. So I think they're both, there's value in both for sure.
Hey, really quickly, I want to jump in on the question about Motown Accelerator resuming. Just before applications closed on February 29th, we extended the deadline. I know it originally said on the website, March 31st, you would hear something from us, but we did extend that deadline on the website to April 17th, but we didn't publicly announce it. So If you're wondering why you haven't heard back, that's because we just got so many applications that it took us longer to listen to everything. But we're listening through. Judges have your music, and you should hear something from us by April 17th.
Cool. Thanks, Sway. All right, so social media. I know I was already kind of talking about it. So I think some of the questions that I'm even getting is like, why is social media important? This is a question that I feel like I have to answer a ton without like going and reading just like the straight up the slides. I think social media is the best way to grow your audience. I think, and ultimately book more shows. I think some of the questions that I get from musicians is like, how do I go on tour? How do I get more shows? How do I get more streams? Well, social media plays a big role with that. I think the Instagram has over 1 billion active users. Facebook has over 2 billion daily active users. There's a reason why venues use social media to promote shows really heavily, because their conversion rate is really high. So, look at what the rest of the music industry is doing and how they're promoting. And social media is usually one of the main ones. And also like social media accounts have become a little bit like, I know this is a very, heavy statement, but social media accounts are a little bit more important than websites right now. Having an optimized social media presence can give you more opportunities than just having a website. And the cost is nothing, right? Like having a Instagram account or a Facebook account or a Twitter account doesn't cost you any money. It just costs you the content that you have to put up. But in the era that we're in with our phones, making high quality content is pretty affordable. And then also social media platforms allow you to promote content directly at a very low cost. I mean, ads on social media are super cheap and they're very highly effective. I think when it comes to social media, it's also really important to optimize your profiles, right? So this means make sure that your username on your Instagram is the same as your username on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, right? And the username is like the @ right? So for example, my social media is Mag is for Magic, or Backline is Backline MKE. So making sure that you have the same username across all social media accounts. This will help your fans find you on other platforms, right? When I find my favorite, like a new artist that I really love, I first go to Instagram, then I go to Twitter, and then I go to Facebook, right? And then I go to YouTube. So I want to make sure that I follow them everywhere and I stay up to date with all of them. Also make your profile or your bio link count by pointing to a piece of content, right? I think and I won't consider this a mistake, but something that I have noticed is artists will have, on their Instagram link, on their bio, check out my new single, and it points to a song. But what if that fan just found you on a playlist on Spotify or Apple Music, right? And they go from your Instagram, like they go from Spotify back to your Instagram, and then you're sending them back to your Spotify with a link that says, listen to my new single. So a way to avoid that is use a service like Linktree. If you aren't familiar with Linktree, go to their website, and it allows you to promote more than one link, right? So instead of your bio saying just check out my new single, it's like check out my new single and my new video, or check out my vlog, right? And link in the bio. And then they go to the link in bio, and it gives them options. So you're not just sending people back and forth. Try to use the same profile picture across platforms. So, you want to make yourself, you want people to be able to find you, right? So whatever picture you have on Spotify or Twitter, make sure it's the same one that you have on Instagram, and across the board. And anytime you update your profile picture, make sure you update it across the board. Ensure that any and all information is accurate and up to date, including tour dates and events, right? So if you're promoting, buy tickets to my show, to March 31st, and it's now, April, make sure that like you're updating all of your information all the time. You want to make sure that when people go to your page, it feels like it's up to date and that you're taking your stuff serious. When it comes to optimizing your profile, this is a great way that, you know, we can help you out during the one-on-one office hour. So if you need help with that, feel free to reach out. Cool. Any questions on social media? I see some questions coming in. What about your official website with all social platforms and bio? I think that can be beneficial for sure, but like I said, you're just gonna have people kind of going in circles. Unless once they go to your website, on the beginning of your page, there's a new video, and then there's like the new single. So definitely, if you want to just use your website, I think that's fair. But try to find ways where, like, maybe you're uploading your music video also onto your Instagram through your IGTV. So instead of sending people like, check out my new video on YouTube, you keep them within the platform. So if they find you on Instagram, they say, check out my video, check my IGTV, right? So then the video is within the platform and you're not sending people out of Instagram. Similar to, you could do the same thing with Facebook. You can do the same thing with Twitter. So you can upload the actual video so people don't have to leave the page to go see the video. Let's see. So someone asked a question, is there webinars to inform you guys on how to reach a wide audience on digital platforms and social media such as Instagram and TikTok? Yes, so we have a presentation on Instagram with the head of music, and we also have a presentation on TikTok, both this week. So make sure you guys show up to those. Both of them will talk about how to grow and engage with your audience. And they both will offer great insight on how to do that as well. Is there any public or accessible market information about music consumption by demographic? Yes. IFPI, feel free to email me and I can send that link if you guys have any questions on that. But there is a full report. It's actually available on our website. So if you go to Backline Music, go to resources, and then we have a blog, and there is a presentation that we did on music consumption. So feel free to check that out. Cool. Funding resources. So this is the last slide I have for this presentation. Backline is working on putting together a spreadsheet with various funding opportunities that are happening within the industry. A lot of them are kind of fluctuating. Some of them you guys might have already heard of and got through a friend, but as you guys know, a lot of people are looking for, you know, financial help. So we're currently working on one, and we're hoping to get it out before the end of the webinars. Just a lot of vetting through the process and seeing who's eligible. There's a lot of them that are very specific to like Wisconsin, Cleveland, Ohio, etc. So we are working on putting those things together. So keep, as we get more information and as we gather that and we have it ready, we'll send it out once it's ready. So that's the end of this presentation. If you guys have any more questions, we could probably do 5-6 more minutes of questions, and we'll have a short break. And then we'll start our next presentation at noon. So I'm gonna just run through some more of these questions. Let's see here. Someone asked, do I have any recommendations on networking with booking agents during this downtime, or is this something you should wait after the storm passes? I think when it comes to live shows, everyone should put that on hold. The live show industry is the one that's being the most affected right now in the music industry, and that includes agents, venues, talent buyers. So I don't see that recovering anytime soon. That's probably going to take 12 to 18, maybe 2 years before, at least my opinion, from the data that I've been looking at, it's going to take a little bit to recover, because anyone who's worked at a venue or worked with venues before, it's a very, I guess it's not the most profitable industries when it comes to like small businesses. They're being affected a lot. And I think on the other side is like safety comes first. So no one wants to schedule anything until things kind of pass. So I would wait off on networking with booking agents right now, because I think they're having a hard time themselves. So maybe putting a little bit more energy on the digital space. So how do you network with curators or focus on the playlisting side? um, what specific qualifications do we need to qualify for the funding resources? So these vary, right? So these won't be coming directly through Backline or the Motown Musician Accelerator. These will be public, so I guess the qualifications are gonna vary by the company that's offering them. Someone asked, will we be talking about any more programs specifically for teenage artists? Well, these webinars in particular are free and open to all musicians of all ages. Not necessarily sure. There isn't any programs that we're offering at this moment for teenage artists within Backline, but our workshops and our webinars are always free and open to all artists. And I think even when it comes to the listening sessions or connecting with like the TikTok or any of the resources through this program, through the webinars, these are definitely something that a teenage artist can definitely be taking advantage of.